My husband submitted his time card one day late this pay period, and his manager is now on PTO. So guess what? We are $845 short this pay period. Let's work through adjusting my budget to get through this paycheck surprise. I'm Becca, and welcome to Neurospicy Budgeting, where we're all about cash stuffing, zero-based budgeting, and real-life tips for those of us with ADHD brains, whether diagnosed or not. So grab your cash, your envelopes, and let's make sense of those dollars. First things first, let's talk about the reality of missing a paycheck. It's not fun, but it can happen, especially if you have ADHD. I believe the key to handling this is to stay calm and logical. Yes, emotions are going to bubble up, but be kind to yourself and your partner and figure it out. Figure out what's in the bank. If you're following a zero-based budget like me, you know that each paycheck gets allocated down to zero, well, near zero in my case. For my paycheck, I round down, and for any of my bills, except for my car payment, I round up. So sometimes there's a buffer left in your account from previous months or sinking funds, so definitely figure out what's in the bank. Step 2 is that you could cash flow the missing money. Maybe it's possible that you will have enough in your smaller paycheck to directly cover the essentials, and you don't need to dip into reserves or your emergency fund. And that is what I'm going to do during this pay period. The last step that you could use to cover that shortage is to check your emergency fund. If you've been cash stuffing for a while or have built up an emergency fund, this is when to use it. You can always replenish it later, but getting the essentials covered is key. All right, now the fun part. Let's look at how I am adjusting my budget to reflect this missed paycheck. So instead of stuffing my usual categories, I'm going to focus only on the necessities. This is where the zero-based budgeting system really helps. I know exactly how much I need for my essentials. I already wrote some of this down. So for income, I'm going to have $1,205. Again, I rounded down for this to get that round number. Fixed expenses are the must pays. So I'm going to have on 10/11, we have car payment of $477.96. On 10/14, we have our H2O delivery water service, and that is $45. On 10/15, we're going to have garbage, and we're going to have utilities. And utilities, garbage is $69, and utilities, $125. Okay, that total is going to be $856.96. Then we have variable. That is an automatic payment, so I know I'm going to need to cover this. We have Netflix on 10/19 for $17, and then we're going to need to eat. So throughout this pay period, 10/11 through 10/25, we're going to do groceries, $140, and that is $157. So now I will take my income minus my fixed expenses minus my variable expenses. So we have income, $1,205 minus $856.96 minus $157, and that is $191.04. I'm going to round down, so I will have this little buffer and extra to work with, even with being $845 short in that paycheck of my husband's. As you can see, step 5 is to prioritize the must pays. In my case, these were the car payment, water service, garbage, utilities, cover Netflix, and groceries. I can now either cash stuff this or add a little more into groceries, a few other items, but I will probably go over in groceries a bit as a family of 4, so I'll probably dip into that a bit more, but I will cash stuff this into a few savings areas in another video. If you've had a budgeting oopsie like this, I would love to hear your story in the comments, maybe learn a few tips and share some laughs. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more ADHD-friendly budgeting tips. See you in the next one.